is about to, waiting for it to load up, and we should be good to go. It's already started.
Really? Why didn't I think any kind of like, oh, this is about to happen? You just go quiet for a bit, and I have to fill the gap with like noise. God damn it! I don't.
That was perfect.
Every single time.
That was perfect. Okay, so let's begin without the fa-fa-fa-fi-fi. Okay, so my name's Kay, and I have Tron with us here today. Say hello, Tron.
Hello, Tron. Hey!
Okay, so tonight I'm going to do an overview of Conduit, and hi, AlexFace228. So tonight I'm going to do an overview of Conduit, and I'm going to talk about the equipment, the weapons, power cores, consumables, tuning, etc. for Conduit, and then afterwards I'm going to go and do the Reservoir, which is the snowy PvE mission, and there's a reason behind that, which I will discuss in the announcements. So, let's discuss the announcements first. So, recently the patch notes were released for on the 25th of July for the next update that is coming, and that update includes a few things that I thought would be good to help just like mention, just that are highlights a little bit. So one, if you are a Founders member, you have received your relics, or you should have received your relics. So make sure you check and make sure, or if you have seen some relics in your account, that is because you're Founders. The second thing is Diabla and Swagger will be released in the next update. So those are the motorcycle awesome warriors that are coming into action. Another announcement is it was announced previously that rematches are going to be coming in. So rematches are basically just if you wanted to like do another match with your same team members against the same people, you would like select a rematch, and if everyone agrees, you guys would all go into another match together and against each other. So that was set to be in the next update, but it looks like there have been some issues that arised, so they wrote in the patch notes that they will be coming out later once they can fix the issue. Another mention that I wanted to say was the Founder bots are going to be released with the next update, which will be Double Take and Rip Raw for the Autobots, and Dead Heat and Australia for the Decepticons. So that's really cool. And the last thing I want to mention, which is why I'm going to be doing the Reservoir PvE mission, is because are actually changing the map of the Reservoir, so it'd be really cool to do a before and after stream, just kind of like before the updates. They're adding more props. They're also going to do level optimization, so it's going to be a little bit of a change, going to be a lot more visual change than anything else, so it'd be cool to see how it looks before and how it looks after, so that's why I'm going to do that. And it'll also be good to show Conduit and his equipment along with his weapons in more of a controlled environment where you're not running for your life. So, I see what you're doing over there, Tron. I see what you're doing over there. So, the last thing I wanted to mention is Horizon Plaza. If some of you may have played that map before, it is now being changed to a new name called New Mesa. Don't think that there's a new map. That is just a new name change. There wasn't any details as to why it's been changed. So it just says New Horizon. Horizon Plaza is now known as New Mesa. That's when the next update happens. So, do you have anything to add, Tron? Tron?
I've already like failed 3 times in this stream. I've done the wrong link on Twitch, and I did the wrong link in the Twitch chat. So
you're on a roll.
So good.
Hi, King Cashew and Ice. It's good to see you guys, or Chris and Devon, as you like to be called. So, I guess what I'm going to start off is doing, talking about Conduit, and what is Conduit, why should you pick him, why shouldn't you pick him if you're not into healing. So, Conduit is a mechanic, or healer, as some people like to say. He's very, I want to say he's more tanky than he is damage DPS, but he does a lot of healing, and he can self-heal. That is different than Hotwire. Hotwire does not self-heal. So it's good to note the differences between them if you're figuring out, oh, why should I buy Conduit if Hotwire comes for free as a starter bot. So first of all, Conduit, he heals himself, he heals his allies, but he does not do as much damage as Hotwire does. Hotwire can do more damage to enemies when it comes to shield damage than Conduit can, and probably, correct me if I'm wrong, he would do more spark damage than Conduit, right, Tron, or no?
I think I think their damage output on Spark is about the same.
Okay.
Mainly because Conduit can do the AOE as well, because his shotgun like hits everyone. So I think because of that, they're kind of on par when it gets to that. Because I mean they're doing Omni damage, not Spark damage anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think Hotwire he's the way to go if you want to do more damage.
Okay. So Hotwire is, as Tron said, Hotwire if you want to do more damage, but you also want to heal your allies. And Conduit if you're more of a support role, you more want to heal more than you want to do damage. So another thing to mention is, so we have on the left hand side here, we've got 3 different weapons, and on the right hand side, you've got 3 different like equipment types. So I'm going to quickly go over the weapons, and then I'll go over the equipment. So the first weapon here is the rifle. So what this rifle does is it does shield damage and spark damage or health damage, whichever you want to call it. And it's equal amounts. So it's not like he's really good at killing off the shields, and he's really good at killing off spark. It's about even, and as you can see in the numbers here, it's not that big of a number. So it's more of like, 3 out of 8 isn't that good, but it's also not that bad. And hi, TK Jax. so as I said, Conduit's not very good at doing damage. He's a healer. So if you're more of looking for a non-healing type, you would want to choose a different warrior. For the second, you've got the shotgun. So what the shotgun does is it does shield repairs to your allies. If you can see, it does more shield than it does damage, more shield than health. So if you really want to heal your allies with their shields are down, you would more likely use number 2 than you would use number 3. Another thing to note is the S-Tech for number 2. The S-Tech for number 2, it heals your allies over time. So if you look, it actually says the S-Tech towards the bottom, and that will tell you what each of the S-Techs does. For number 1, which I didn't mention, the rifle immobilizes your targets or your enemies, but not only does it immobilize like one of them, it will immobilize more than one of them. So it can immobilize a group of your enemies, which I hope to show you guys later in the stream. And the last thing I wanted to go over was the pistols. The pistols do spark repair more than they do shield. So if you look at number 2, it says shield. The shield is 4 out of 8, but in here it's 3 out of 8. So the numbers are swapped. So basically, if your allies need to get their health repaired really quickly, you'd most likely use the pistols than you would use the shotgun. But another thing to note is the S-Tech for your pistols, which is number 3 on your keyboard. They also heal yourself, which will help a lot if it's like an emergency and you really need to heal yourself. So hopefully that'll help with anything like that. I see that everyone's like, when are you guys hiring Kay? I don't know. If I was offered a job, I would take it. So basically, you would use the number 3 S-Tech, your pistol's S-Tech, to emergency heal yourself, but also you would use it to stop any traumas on your allies, which would be good to know. Is there anything I missed, Tron, for the weapons? Anything I missed?
Did you mention the stun on the shotgun?
Yes.
On his number 1?
Yes, number 1. The
okay.
Rifle. Pew, pew.
Then I think you covered everything.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure I got everything for the weapons, so we'll move on to equipment, so you guys kind of can get an idea what the equipment does. So for number 4 is a spark duplicator. for people who don't want to read the text, even though it's a good read, basically what that does is, as I like to say in my streams, it produces the circle of life, and which everyone seems to run away from you when you do that. I don't know why, but basically it puts a circle around you, and it heals the people who are in it, so your allies that are in it, and it also heals yourself. So it's really good to note when you're trying to, if you're like dying and you need to heal yourself, besides the emergency heal for the S-Tech on weapon number 3. So it's good to know if you would like to use your equipment that number 4 heals yourself and it heals the people around you in this nice, lovely, big green circle. So one thing to note about this equipment, though, equipment in general have a cooldown timer. So you can't just use number 4 50 billion times and never die, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys will realize that the equipment is crucial, but it does have a timer on it, so cooldown timer. And another thing, Conduit is different than Meltdown in the sense of the circle of life moves with you. So if you are running around the map, that circle will run with you, whereas with Meltdown, the circle stays in the position in which you set it when you set down that circle of life. It'll stay there even if you run away. So it's good to note that because I learned that the hard way. Apparently the reason why people run away from me is because I need deodorant. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. I just sniffed my armpits. Yes. Are we are we gonna watch Kay die all stream? I hope not. I might die, but it's okay. It's okay. Take a loss. So, are we gonna see PvP today? No, I'm gonna do the reservoir because it's changing soon. So I wanted to do a before and after, a before stream and after stream of what the reservoir looks like now and what it looks like later. So, moving on with the equipment. So number 5 is Lightfoot armor. A lot of people don't know this, which I'm not sure why, because it clearly says it in the nice paragraph. So the Lightfoot armor helps you run faster, but not only does it help you run faster, but it also goes towards all of your allies that are nearby you. So it's good to note that the Lightfoot armor will help you escape and also reduce any damage to yourself, but it also makes your allies go faster as well, like be able to run away faster. So it's good to note that.
I mean,
What?
it kind of shows you that in the picture. It's like a picture of a foot and an up arrow and a picture of a damage splat and a down arrow.
I know.
And yet people are like, it makes you run quicker? You're like, there's a picture.
Yeah.
It says right there.
Yeah, but you know, people like to be told in a stream rather than just you know.
I did think it was like a picture of like a radar of.
It kind of
like,
looks like
it's
that.
going. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happens when you get kicked out of the game.
I can see why it gets confusing.
So the next thing, the last thing I wanted to mention is, so these are the backfire circuits, also known as like a virus. This is number 6 on your keyboard. It's your last equipment. Normally you use this if you're like on the verge of dying. I would normally use it. So what it does is it inflicts like a virus, like a big purple ball that goes over your enemies that are nearby, and it basically reduces it like starts damaging them a little bit. And it's basically a trauma, so to speak. And it'll keep doing that for a couple of seconds or so. So unfortunately, it's not as powerful as everyone would like it to be, but it's still really awesome because it's really cool to see the nice purple ball just floating over their head and being like, bam, right in your face.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you can go into a bit more than that. It basically turns people into living bombs. So if they die or they get a kill when they have that on them, they do a massive